Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Young Scholars. Good morning to our beautiful, amazing, talented scholars. Happy Saturday. It is February 19th, and we are just making our way through the month. I'm excited for it. How you guys doing?
Good.
That's great.
Good.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good.
For all of you tuning in new, Young Scholars is a enrichment program for our school-age children. We get on every Saturday and we share stories, we share experiences, and just connect. So I'm excited to be with you guys this morning. How's everyone feeling? How was your week at school?
It's good.
Don't everybody go at once.
Let's start.
Evelyn, got your hand up?
Okay.
My week of school was good. It was kind of weird at the same time because we did fun things in school, especially yesterday because our teacher after lunch wasn't there and we had another teacher and we did a drawing and we also did Liberty Kids, which I don't really like Liberty Kids. And then, yeah, that was my week. We did that over and over again. And I
What
also
was it
made
that you did, Evelyn? Can you say that one again for me? What did you guys do? You drew.
We
I heard
watched
a
Liberty
drawing.
Kids. We
Oh.
watched Liberty Kids, and then I also made the book on the week. So.
Oh, I love your book. That's amazing. An aspiring author and illustrator. Yes. Did you did the pictures and the words?
Yeah, I did pictures and words.
That's
But there's only
amazing.
one page with pictures.
That's amazing. That's lovely. Anyone else would like to share? How was your week? Amaya.
My week is going good so far because it's almost my birthday. My birthday is March 2nd. So,
amazing.
Yeah, and I'm really happy for that. So, yeah.
That's nice. How old are you turning?
11 now.
Wowie. That's wonderful.
My brother is 11.
Amaya. Anyone else want to share? Aaliyah, Daniel? Daniel?
So basically my week, it wasn't the best either. So it was okay. So yeah.
Okay. That's all right. Better weeks to come, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. That's all right. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you've joined us. I just want to say again to all of you scholars, I think it's so amazing that we get on here every Saturday and we have the opportunity to connect and just talk about, our life experiences, how our week was, and share reading. Amaya, good morning. Amaya, why?
Morning.
How are you? How you doing? How was your week?
Good. My week was good because I got honor roll for this quarter.
Amazing.
And also my birthday's coming up March 14th.
Hey, we got some birthdays coming up. Amaya, how old are you turning?
12.
Oh my goodness. Wow. You all are growing so fast. This is a lot for me. I'm glad you had a great week. And yes, your birthday is coming up soon. Would anybody else like to share about their week? Amaya, Aaliyah and Ayana, how are y'all doing?
Well, my week was pretty good.
That's good. I love your
We
hair.
did a lot of. Thank you. We did a lot of work in school on Friday, so I'm just like, okay, I'm ready for this break. I don't want to go to school for a while.
Yeah, you guys have your winter break coming up, huh? Yeah. Would you say that us connecting on Saturday mornings is a great decompressor for the studious week?
I actually like getting on here to read because it helps me like relax in a way, like listening to other people read and then I get my turn to read. So it's like
Lovely.
fun.
That's lovely. We're so happy to have you. Ayana, hey. I like your hair too.
Hello.
How you doing? How was your week at school?
I'm doing good, and my week at school was very much average. Um, it was normal, except for Friday. Friday was pretty fun because we didn't do any work on Friday because the first half of the day was career day. So we all split off into our groups that we call mentoring groups, but it's just like a groups of us and other students that we like kind of hang out during mentoring and we talk a lot of things. So we were grouped up with our mentoring groups and we went around to different classrooms all morning and we got to see different people in each classroom. We met a NASA engineer, like
Oh, that's
I think
wonderful.
there was an astrologist, a stylist. There was a lot of things that we found, and it was
Oh,
lovely.
that's amazing. So many different
And then
careers.
and then after lunch, we still didn't have to do any work because it was a general assembly.
Oh, nice. So you just had a free day, but you did learn though, right?
Yes, a lot.
That's amazing. I think that's amazing. Career day is super interesting. You learn lots about different careers, salaries, you know. That's wonderful. Once again, I'm happy you guys are all here. I want to make a quick announcement that next Saturday we're going to be starting a little earlier just so that we can try having breakfast together. I think that would be nice. Did you guys all eat? Everybody eat breakfast? Yeah, eat a little something.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
it
eating my
doesn't have
breakfast
to be a
afterwards because I want to cook a big one.
yeah. We could do whatever, like some people they just wake up and eat fruit for breakfast.
I'm
So
eating
whatever,
fruit.
whatever you want to eat. Yeah.
I'm literally
Whatever
eating
you
fruit for breakfast. I'm eating watermelon and mango.
Oh, nice. You see? Yeah, there's different things. We can get on early. We can have some breakfast, chat for a little bit, and then we can get into our reading. How is that? You guys think
That's
that's
good,
cool?
but I usually sometimes my parents will want me to eat before the group.
Yeah. Well, if you
Uh,
eat beforehand or if you eat, we can give you guys like, a half hour or so. So you'll have your breakfast right in front of you, just like how we're sitting right now. And we can talk and fellowship as we eat. Um, I think that would be cool. We'll try that next week. Maybe we'll get on about 8:30 or so. Okay? Nice, nice. So while we have all of you here, who wants to start off with reading? I also have something to read today too. Evelyn, you got your hand up. You like to start off? Would you like to start off?
I think I'll go after. If someone goes this time, I'll go after them.
Okay. So who will be our reading leader? Who's going to start first? Or I'm going to pick.
You should.
I should pick?
No, you should read first.
I should read first? Okay. Say less. So I have this book. I've read from it before. If any of you all were here before, but I have this amazing book. It's called Unapologetic Photosynthetic. And this is by a local, his name is Terrence Mack. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but he is a local member of our community, of our Springfield community. And he's an author, he's an educator. He does a lot in the community working with children. So I think that that's really, really cool. So shout out to him. And I'm going to start. This one is called Sorry But Not Sorry. Have you guys ever been sorry but not sorry? Yes, no, maybe so.
Story of my life.
Oh yeah? All right. Well, this might resonate with you. I'm going to read, okay? So it's called Sorry But Not Sorry. It's always been a sorry sight to watch a pile of saris be carried in the arms of a Black woman that we owe everything to. I would see her walk around throwing saris from her arms anytime someone felt uncomfortable or threatened from the sheer glance of her existence. This is what I've had to witness. They want that little girl with the big name to shorten her identity. They want that tall one with the loud accent and with the loud hair to tone it down. They'll try to misinterpret your peace seeking for disturbing the peace and your assertion for attitude. They want that woman with that standout skin and that standout style to sit down, misinterpreting their vibrance for distraction. They want a Black woman's complexities to be simplicities. They take her experience and oversimplify, and take her body to hypersexualize, then have the nerve to police her God-given curls and curves. Sorry, but not sorry. Their presence is too large to fit in your tiny mind. Sorry, but not sorry. They are not accepting anything less than Aretha's RESPECT. I messed up that stanza. Let me go back. Sorry, but not sorry. Their presence is too large to fit in your tiny mind. Sorry, but not sorry. They are not accepting anything less than Aretha's RESPECT. What does that spell?
Respect.
Right. Sorry, but not sorry. But these bodacious features are family heirlooms from their ancestors, and they go everywhere with them. Sorry, but not sorry. They will speak and authentic and unfiltered. Sorry, but not sorry. We are sick of the world limiting the spaces for Black women to be herself. So don't say nothing when she occupies the room. Sorry, but not sorry. That's the end of that. What do you guys think about that?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Were you the one that said that story of your life? Was that you or your sister?
That was Ayana.
Oh, okay. But you can relay as well, huh?
What's the name
I
of that
liked
book,
it.
Miss Audie?
Unapologetic Photosynthetic, a celebration of Black womanhood.
Okay, that's what's up.
I thought this was really good to read and to talk about because oftentimes we are looked at, a certain way, and we're often apologizing for things that we don't need to apologize for. If you're loud and you're passionate about something, then be passionate.
Okay, and Evelyn has her hand up. Evelyn.
Yes, Evelyn.
I liked it.
You liked it?
I liked it.
Thank you.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Thank you for
Cool.
reading, Miss Audie.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for your feedback. So, Evelyn, we're going to circle back around to you. I know you said you want someone to go first. Are you ready to read? I think she might be frozen.
Okay. Is anybody else ready to read? Let's see. We also have good morning, Cheyenne. Good morning, Zuri, joining us for the first time. Cheyenne.
Good morning, Cheyenne. Good morning, Zuri.
Good morning. Oh. Right.
Okay, so we're gonna go. Let's see, Daniel.
Can you hear her?
No. No.
You can't. Can you hear us?
Now I can hear
I can
you
hear
now.
you.
Yep.
Okay. Can you say something?
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Okay. I'm sorry. We weren't sure if the audio was working.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you for checking. Evelyn, are you ready to read?
Yes.
Awesome.
So I'm reading the pup on my 9th birthday that I made. One day I woke up and it was my 9th birthday. Me, my mom and dad, and Amari ate cake. At lunch, me and Amari and my mom and dad drove to McDonald's Happy Meal and drove to the pup place. And we got my pup and me and Amari play with toys. And then, while me and Amari play with toys, then we eat dinner. We eat rice and chicken. And then, time for bed. The day is gone. The next day at school, I see Amari. We play at lunch. It was fun. And then the drawing part.
Beautiful images. I see you walking.
And I was working on this page, and I'm practically almost done.
Oh, lovely. And you're
And
going to
it
add that to your
is-
story?
So at school, math, we count to 100. Then lunch, we eat pizza. Then science. At home, I shower. Then I play with Amari in Roblox. Time for bed, Mom says. And I'm still working on it, but
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Evelyn. You're off to an amazing start. And I love all the pictures.
Tanku.
You're welcome. Let's see. Who shall read next? Oh, I see a hand. Cheyenne's hand.
Cheyenne. And let's
Good
get her on
morning,
screen.
Cheyenne.
Good morning, Cheyenne. Oh, she's muted. I got you.
There you go.
Hello.
How
Good
are
morning.
you?
Good morning.
Would
What book
you
you gonna
mind-
read?
Oh, yep, go ahead.
It's called Hair Love.
Oh, I love that book.
All right. Okay. Read it. Let's go.
My name is Zuri, and I have hair that has a mind of its own. It kinks, coils, and curls every which way. Daddy tells me it is beautiful. That makes me proud. I love that my hair lets me be me. In funky braids with beads, I am a princess. And when my hair is in 2 puffs, I am above the clouds like a superhero. My hair even does magic tricks. One day, Rocky and I were playing outside when along came the rain. From large to small, it went presto just like that. There is nothing my hair can't do. Today I woke up extra early, all by myself. I was excited to sleep. It's a big day. Daddy was still sleeping. Shh, I said to Rocky. I was tiptoed past him. Lately, Daddy has been worn out. He makes me breakfast, takes me to school, goes to work, picks me up, and yesterday he went for a bike ride around the park. I think he needs a break. Because today is a special day, I want a perfect hairstyle. This calls for professional touch. Calls off Rocky. Daddy heard the crash. Zuri, what on earth? He asked. I was only trying to help, I said. Daddy smiled. Can I help too? It'll be a piece of cake, Zuzu. The first style was a big no way. The second was no better, no daddy. Then Daddy tried slicking my hair back into 2 puffs. Ouch, Daddy yelled. Wait a minute, Daddy said, as he reached into the drawer and pulled out a pick. Ta-da! Daddy, really? I said. I'll be right back, he promised. How's that? He asked, pulling a hat down over my eyes. Daddy, come on. We can do better than that. I really need my hair to be special. Don't worry, he said. We'll figure this out. Then I had a great idea. Daddy gathered all the tools we needed, and we were set. Watching carefully, Daddy combed, parted, oiled, and twisted. He nailed it. Funky puff buns, pretty, and so much fun. Rocky approved too. Click. I put on my superhero cape as the final touch to be perfect look. My Zuzu, Mommy said. Mommy called from the door. She could not get in the house fast enough. Mommy, you got to be prettiest Supergirl I have ever seen, she said. Welcome home, Mom. And your hair is beautiful, Zuri. Who did it? I looked at Daddy and he beamed. Mommy smiled. Very nice. Thank you. We learned from the best Daddy said. Oh my God. Said as he gave her get out of here. A big hug. My hair is Mommy, Daddy, and me. It's hair of love. Flash. The end. Sometimes
Amazing.
looks like braids, puffs, and twisted. Then
Nice. You read so lovely, Cheyenne. How old are you?
7.
Oh, nice. You're reading some big words. I really love that story.
Great job. Since you're already on screen, Zuri, do you want to read your book next? You don't have to read the whole book. You can just read a couple of pages, okay? And Cheyenne can help you. You ready?
This is called Stay This Way Forever.
No.
Stay this way forever.
Just read a couple of pages, baby.
The sun is 37 and another day is done. The sleepy sun is setting, and another day is done. The lighting bugs have been their lights and bedtime has begun. The moment that you're tucked in and tight and you drift off to sleep. I think all the memories that I would
I'll help you find it.
Like to keep. The joyful songs, your belly laughs, the clever
Raise your
things
talk louder, Zuri.
you say are moments from this fairy tale I cherish every day like footprints tracked along the shore or flowers blooms in May. I try to memorize those times before they slip away. I'll hold them close like I hold you pressed against my heart. Against my heart. And marvel at the child who you are.
R is every. See, R is every.
Or is every.
Say it. R is every.
R is every.
New day starts.
New day starts.
Okay, you ready? Okay. You wake up every morning.
You wake up every morning
with a grin from ear to ear.
With a grin from ear to ear.
You wrap your arms around my neck.
You'll wrap your arms around my neck.
Your snuggles are so dear.
Your snuggles are so dear.
You pucker up for kisses.
You pucker up for kisses.
Unafraid to let love show.
Unafraid to let love show.
The feeling is pure joy.
The feeling is pure joy.
Each time I hear your sweet hello.
Each time I hear your sweet hello.
Thank you. Tell them the name of the book is Stay This Way Forever.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, Zuri. That was wonderful. Thank you, Cheyenne.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's see. We have some more readers ready to go. Amaya P. How you doing? You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, you're up. Please tell us the name of the book that you're reading.
Babysitter's Little Sister. Chapter 7. Hello, we're home. We're in the kitchen. Hi there, Andrew. Your new haircut is very handsome. New haircut? I think he looks kind of funny, but I don't want to hurt his feelings. Even if he did get a package and I didn't. Hey, guess what? What? You got a present from Uncle Lou and Auntie Anne. They are Andrew's godparents. They like to send him lots of presents, even for no reason at all. I did? Oh boy, I hope his present is boring. Karen, look, new movies. Wow, can't believe it. That's not a boring present at all. It's just not fair. Not one good thing has happened to me today. Let's go watch them right now. No way. Why not? Because I don't want to watch movies with an egghead. You look like an egghead, Andrew. I think I will call you Mr. Baldy from now on. Karen, apologize right now. No. Mr. Baldy, you are spoiled and you won't even like those movies. They are dumb and stupid and boring and bad. That's the real reason I don't want to watch them. They are not. R2, you're going to hate them. You're going to hate all the characters and the stories and the songs. I will not. Will too. Karen, go to your room right now. I know you're having a bad day, but you will not take it out on Andrew. Okay. No fear, no fear, no fear. It's not fear that I got sent to my room for having a bad day. I've done everything I could think of to make my bad day better. Isabella even helped me try to start the day over again. It's not my fault that I had a bad day. I didn't mean for any of those things to go wrong. But now I'm being punished. How are you feeling, Lucy? I guess you're feeling okay again, aren't you? Lucy, I think everyone hates me. Christy hates me because I act like a baby. Dad and Isabella and Andrew hate me because I was mean to Andrew. Hannah hates me because I yelled at her. Maybe even Mr. Venton hates me. Maybe that's why he wasn't driving his truck. I'm like that worm song. Nobody likes me, everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. That song is kind of gross. Karen, look at the new movies I got. You are so spoiled. I'm not. R2. I'm not. R2. Okay, I'm spoiled. You're right. Let me have your movies. No, yes. All right. Here they are. They're yours. Thanks, Mr. Baldy. That's how our fight should have gone. Totally empty. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. Karen! I know it's only been 15 minutes, but your punishment is over now. Dad probably just wanted me to stop singing, but that's okay. Wait, I think I hear something. I know that sound. Chapter 8. Mr. Tasty is coming. Good luck at last. Here comes Mr. Tasty. Giddy up. I guess their picnic is over. Is Hannah still mad at me? Maybe things will be okay. At least we're smiling. Hello, everyone. Okay. Why don't you all form in line? That will be much easier. What kind of ice cream do I want to get today? Let's see. Chocolate, popsicles, rock pops, nutty cones, otter pops, Italian icy. That is actually what I want. A cherry Italian ice. My turn is next. And what can I get for you, Karen? I'll have a cherry Italian ice, please. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. It looks like I'm out of cherry right now. No cherry? No, but there's lemon and grape, and I really want a cherry. I'm sorry, Karen. Karen, dinner time. I'm not hungry. Karen, we'd like you to come to dinner, please. But I'm not hungry. Please come anyway. Well, I guess you had a bad day today, didn't you, Karen? No Crunch O prize and no cherry and talent ice. No present and no TV show. And I fell out of bed and Moosey got ripped. Last week I had a bad day. I lost my homework and I stepped on Boo Boo's tail. I felt awful. That's right. That's just two bad things. Once my chair tipped over in English class and I forgot my lunch money and my locker got stuck, so I missed the bus home. One time I threw up during a school estimate.
What's the word?
ASSEMBL.
Assembly.
I think I had the worst day of more bad things happened to me today than anyone else. I think you're right. On my bad day, 4 things happened. 7 bad things happened on my worst day. 6 bad things happened on the day I told you about while I was fixing up Moosey. Okay, now let me count up all the bad things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gosh, if there were a prize for bad days, you would win it, Karen. I think that this is the first good thing that's happened to me today. I set a bad day record. That's all I'm going to be reading today.
Thank you for sharing, Amaya. It was nice that they included the one good thing that happened, huh? It's like, have you ever had a day like the character that Amaya was reading about, and things just keep happening? It's like, oh, here's something else. Here's something else. Here's something else. That's interesting. When you have any of those kind of days and you think about something that's great in your life, something that you're happy for, something that you're grateful for, then those bad things, they don't weigh as much. I like that. Thank you so much for sharing, Amaya.
You're welcome.
All right. And next, we'll have Ayana. Would you like to go?
Sure.
Okay.
Today I'm doing Once Another continuation of the Babysitter's Club Book 1, Christy's Great Idea.
Nice.
And from when we started off, they were getting ready to go put out flyers, I think. Come in, called Claudia. It was only 4:30 when I entered her room, but I found her sitting cross-legged on her bed with the phone in her lap, one hand clutching the receiver. The phone's not going to run away, you know, I greeted her. Claudia grinned sheepishly. I know, I'm just so excited. Actually, I was too. So am I yelled suddenly. I dashed across the room and jumped on her bed. I've been waiting all week for this day to come. What do you think will happen? Oh, this has just gotta work. I know we'll get some customers. We'll have customers, won't we? Claudia rambled. I grabbed the phone from Claudia and held it in my lap. A knock came at the door. It couldn't be a customer, could it? Claudia and I glanced at each other. It's probably Marianne, I said. All right, Claudia answered. Come in! The door opened, and it was Janine. My stomach dropped down to my knees, and Janine cleared her throat. Ahem, she said. I have been studying your sign from out here in the hall, and I'm wondering if possibly you've... Sorry, the page. Possibly you've made a mistake. I leaped up and ran over to our sign. I couldn't see a thing wrong with it. Babysitter's Club was spelled correctly. Claudia had remembered the double T, and she'd gotten all the abbreviations correct, too. I put my hands on my hips. What? I asked. Well, Janine began primly. I'm not entirely sure you have made a mistake. I'm just trying to decide whether you need an apostrophe after the word babysitters. You see, without an apostrophe, the word is simply plural, meaning the club consisting of several or many babysitters. But the apostrophe after the S will make the word possessive, meaning the club belonging to several or more babysitters. Now, either way could be right, but I'm not very sure whether. Hello, everybody! Stacy cut her off when she rang through the stairwell, like the welcome sound of a boat's horn on a foggy night. Saved, I mumbled under my breath. Hey, Stace! Stacy ran upstairs, and I sprinted her into Claudia's bedroom and closed the door behind us, leaving Daniel out in the hall puzzling over the apostrophe mystery. Marianne arrived a few minutes later, luckily without running into Janine. It was 5:05. The four of us sat on Claudia's bed. At 5:10, Claudia got up. She took a shoebox labeled sneakers out of her closet and opened it and handed her off some jawbreaker. As usual, Stacy refused and took some pretzels instead. At 5:25, I began staring at my watch, following the minute hand around and around. 5:26, 5:27, 5:28, 5:29. At exactly 5:30, the phone rang. I was so excited. Oh no, I don't believe it, cried Marianne. Claudia spit out her jawbreaker. I'll answer it, she shrieked. She jerked up the receiver and said politely, Hello, good afternoon. The Babysitters Club speaking. And then she made a face and handed me the phone. Christy, it's your mother. I spit on my jawbreaker too. Mom, I exclaimed as soon as I got on the phone. These are our business hours. You're not supposed to. Oh, you do? Oh, okay. I calmed down. Please hold for a moment. I put my hand over the receiver. My mom needs a sitter for David Michael. I cried. Kathy can't come over on Wednesday. Everyone's suppressed laughs. I've got our appointment book right here, said Claudia. Now let's see. Marianne, you have to go to the dentist that day, and I have an art class. That leaves you, Claudia pointed to me, and Stacy. What should we do? Just another sec, Ma, I said. I hadn't really thought about what to do if several of us were available for the same job. Well, I began. He is your brother, Stacy said. You should get the job. But if you took it, you'd get to know some other people in the neighborhood, and you'd probably meet Sam and Charlie. They're my big brothers. Brothers? Stacy's eyes lit up. Boys, always. But what are you going to do while I babysit? Hang around and watch? Well, I hope I'll have another job, I said huffily. But you take the job, Stacy. I don't want my first Babysitters Club client to be my own mother. Okay, if you're sure, Stacy said slowly, and then she grinned. Thanks. No problem, I said. I took my hand off the receiver. Mom, Stacy will babysit for David Michael on Wednesday, the usual time, right? Okay. Hey, where are you calling from anyways? Oh, the office. Claudia elbowed me. Quit tying up the line. Someone else might be trying to get through. I nodded. Mom, I have to get off. I'll see you in a little while. Okay. Bye. I hung up. And the phone rang again immediately. Claudia gave me a look that said, I told you so. Can I answer it? Marianne asked. Marianne picked up the phone. Good afternoon, Babysitters Club, she said. There was a long pause. I think you have the wrong number. There's no Jim Bartoli here. She hung up. At 5:42, the phone rang for the third time. We all looked at each other. You get it, Christy, Marianne said. You're the president. Hello, Babysitters Club? Yes, just a moment, please. I put my hand over the mouthpiece. Do any of you know Miss McKeever? She lives on Clinton Court? The girls shook their heads. What's she got? Asked Claudia. 2 kids, Buffy and Pinky. I replied. Buffy and Pinky? Cried Stacy. Buffy and Pinky? She whispered. Shh, I warned her. How old were they? Marianne wanted to know. I don't know. Hold on. Hello, Miss McKeever? We need a little information, please. How old are Buffy and Pinky? Oh, okay. I turned back to the members of the Babysitters Club. She says they're 3. They must be twins. When does she need a sitter? Asked Marianne. Wednesday afternoon. Oh, I guess I'm the only one who's free then. I suddenly realized I was dying for a new client anyways. I accepted the job and took down the information I needed. Then, Miss McKeever asked me a zillion questions about myself. She wanted to know how old I was and how much experience I had and that sort of thing. When I hung up, I said to Marianne, Hey, secretary, you've got to record these jobs in the appointment book. All right, she whispered. I handed her the book and she got right to work. The next two callers referred Jim Bartoli, and Claudia was growing exasperated. Boy, this is weird, she said. I've gotten wrong numbers before, but no one's ever asked for this Jim Bartoli. Certainly not 3 no ones. At 5:55, Marianne stood up. I better get going, she said. She pulled on her sweater and crunched loudly on the remaining bit of her jawbreaker. The phone rang. Stacy and I answered it and handed it to me. It's your mom, Christy. I got a little upset. Mom, I said. Kathy backed out of the other afternoon too, or... Oh, no, not me. I'm not babysitting for them. You know how I feel. Okay, but hold on. Watson needs a babysitter for his kids again on Saturday morning. Not tomorrow, but next Saturday, I told the others. I am not doing it. I'll do it, Marianne said. I'm getting curious about them. Why aren't you curious, Christy? I was dying to see what type of kids Watson had. Not really, I said. Sign yourself up for the job. As Marianne was about to walk out of Claudia's room, the phone rang for the 7th time since 5:30. I'll get it, said Marianne. One last call. Hello? What? Marianne's braids practically stood on the ends and steam was basically coming out of her ears. Some boy on the phone, she told us. He says his name is Jim Bartolini. He wants to know if there have been any calls for him. You're kidding, exclaimed Claudia. Oh, wait a second, I said suddenly. I grabbed the phone from Marianne. Sam, is that you? No, said the other voice on the line. It's Jim Bartolini. I was wondering if... Sam, you're a rat, I cried and hung up the phone. This is important business, and furthermore, I'm telling your mom. I slammed the receiver down. The nerve, Marianne said. But Claudia and Stacy began giggling. I think it was sort of funny, said Claudia. You would, I retorted. Oh, come on. He has to admit it was a pretty good goof call. It was better than just is your refrigerator running or something. I guess, I said. So for the rest of our Babysitters Club office hours, or office half hour, we ended on kind of a sour note, but it ended up being funny. And the evening didn't improve much. When I went home and told Mom what Sam had done, Sam called me a rat, and I said, I know you are, but what am I? And then Sam said, I know you are, but what am I? And then I shouted, you're driving me for an hour and sent me to my room, which suited me fine since Watson was on his way over. That's all I'm going to read.
Thank you. That was really good. It was very entertaining.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Babysitters Club. She's reading
I was
about
all into that.
entrepreneurs.
I felt like I was watching a movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, great imagery.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next we have Amaya Y.
Good morning.
Morning. So I'm reading the next chapter of Wonder. Nice, Mrs. Garcia. We followed Mr. Tushman down a few hallways. There weren't a lot of people around, and the few people who were there didn't seem to notice me at all. Although that may have been because they didn't see me. I sort of hid behind Mom as I walked. I know that sounds kind of babyish of me, but I wasn't feeling very brave right then. We ended up in a small room with the words Office of Middle School Director on the door. Inside, there was a desk with a nice-seeming lady sitting right behind it. This is Miss Garcia, said Mr. Tushman. The lady smiled, and Mom took off her glasses and got up out of her chair. My mom shook her hand and said, Isabel Pullman, nice to meet you. And this is August, Mr. Tushman said. Mom kind of stepped to the side a bit, so I would move forward. Then that thing happened that I've seen a million times before. When I looked at her, Mrs. Garcia's eyes dropped for a second. It was so fast no one else would have noticed, since the rest of her face stayed exactly the same. She was smiling, a really shiny smile. Such a pleasure to meet you, August, she said, holding out her hand for me to shake. Hi, I said quietly, giving her my hand, but I didn't want to look at her face, so I kept staring at her glasses, which hung from a chain around her neck. Wow, what a firm grip, said Mrs. Garcia. Her hand was really warm. The kid's got a killer handshake, Mr. Tushman agreed, and everyone laughed above my head. You can call me Miss G, said Miss Garcia. I think she was talking to me, but I looked at all the stuff on her desk. That's what everyone calls me. Miss G, I forgot my combination, Miss G. I need a late pass, Miss G. I want to change my elective. Miss G actually is the one who runs the place, said Mr. Tishman, which, again, made all the grown-ups laugh. I'm here every morning by 7:30, Mrs. Garcia continued, still looking at me while I stared at her brown sandals with the small purple flowers on the buckles. So if you ever need anything, August, I'm the one to ask. And you can ask me anything. Okay, I mumbled. Oh, look at that cute baby, Mom said, pointing to one of the photographs on Mrs. G's bulletin board. Is he yours? No, my goodness, said Miss Garcia, smiling a big smile now. That was totally different from her shiny smile. You've just made my day. He's my grandson. What a cutie, Mom said, shaking her head. How old? In that picture, he was 5 months, I think. But now he's almost 8 years old. Oh, wow, said Mom, nodding and smiling. Well, he is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, said Miss Garcia, nodding like she was about to say something else about her grandson. But then all of a sudden her smile got a little smaller. We're all going to take very good care of August, she said to Mom, and I saw her give Mom's hand a little squeeze. I looked at Mom's face, and that's when I realized she was just as nervous as I was. I guess I like Miss Garcia. She wasn't wearing her shiny smile. Jack, Will, Julian, and Charlotte. We followed Mr. Tishman into a small room across from Miss Garcia's desk. He was talking as he closed the door to his office and sat down behind his big desk. Though I wasn't really paying much attention to what he was saying. I was looking around at all the things on his desk. Cool stuff like a globe that floated in the air like a Rubik's type cube, made with little mirrors. I looked at his office a lot. I think that there were all these neat little drawings and paintings by students on the walls, framed like they were important. Mom sat down in a chair in front of Mr. Tishman's desk, and even though there was another chair right next to hers, I decided to stand beside her. Why, do you have your own room, and Miss G doesn't? I said. You mean, why do I have an office? asked Mr. Tishman. You said she runs the place, I said. Oh, well, I was kind of kidding. Miss G is my assistant. Mr. Tishman is the director of the middle school, Mom explained. Do they call you Mr. T? I asked, which made him smile. Do you know who Mr. T is? He answered. I pity the fool, he said in a funny toned, tough voice. I think he was imitating someone. I had no idea what he was talking about. Anyway, no, said Mr. Tishman, shaking his head. No one calls me Mr. T, though I have a feeling I'm called a lot of other things I don't know about. Let's face it, a name like mine is not easy to live with. You know what I mean? Here, I have to admit I totally laughed because I knew what he meant. My mom and dad had a teacher called Miss Butt, I said. Augie, said Mom, but Mr. Tishman laughed. Now, that's bad, said Mr. Tishman, shaking his head. I guess I shouldn't complain. Hey, so listen, August. Here's what I thought we should do today. Is that a pumpkin? I said, pointing to a framed painting behind Mr. Tishman's desk. Augie, sweetie, don't interrupt, said Mom. You like it? Said Mr. Tishman, turning around and looking at the painting. I do too, and I thought it was a pumpkin too, until the student who gave it to me explained that it was totally not a pumpkin. It is. Are you ready for this? A portrait of me. Now, August, I ask you, do I really look that much of a pumpkin? No, I answered, though I was thinking yes. Something about the way his cheeks puffed out when he smiled made him look like a jack-o'-lantern. Just as I thought that, it occurred to me how funny that was. Cheeks, Mr. Tishman. And I started laughing a little bit. I shook my head and covered my mouth with my hand. Mr. Tishman smiled like he could really read my mind. I was about to say something else, but then all of a sudden, I heard other voices outside the office. Kids' voices. I'm not exaggerating when I said this. but my heart literally stopped beating, like I just run the longest race in the world. The laughter I had inside just poured out of me. The thing is, when I was little, I never minded meeting new kids because all the kids I met were really little too. What's cool about really little kids is that they don't say a lot of stuff to try to hurt your feelings. Even though sometimes they do say stuff that hurts your feelings, but they don't actually know what they're saying. Big kids though, they know what they're saying, and that is definitely not fun for me. One of the reasons I grew my long hair last year was that I like my bangs covering my eyes. It helps me block out the things I don't want to see. Mrs. Garcia knocked on the door and poked her head inside. "They're here, Mr. Tishman," she said. "Who's here?" I asked. "Thanks, Mr. Tishman to Miss Garcia. August, I thought it would be a good idea for you to meet some students who'll be in your homeroom this year. I figured they could take you around the school a bit, show you the lay of the land, so to speak." "I don't want to meet anyone," I said to Mom. Mr. Tishman was suddenly right in front of me, his hands on my shoulders. He leaned down and said very soft in my ear, "It'll be okay, August. These are nice kids, I promise." "You're gonna be okay, Augie," Mom whispered with all her might. Before she could say anything else, Mr. Tishman opened the door to his office. "Come on in, kids," he said, and walked in, two boys and a girl. None of them looked over at me or Mom. They stood by the door looking straight at Mr. Tishman, like their lives depended on it. "Thank you so much for coming, guys, especially since school doesn't start until next month," said Mr. Tishman. "Have you had a good summer?" All of them nodded, but no one said anything.
Thank you, Amaya.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Maya. Very good.
Nice, nice, nice. All
We got
right. We
Leah.
have Aaliyah next.
Leah.
Hi. I'll be reading the next part of Minecraft The Crash.
Aaliyah,
Yes.
can you see my picture?
Say it again? Oh my goodness, yes.
Is that you?
Yes.
I'm sorry. You can go.
Tag. Mr. T put her on the spot.
She's in the picture for Afro Day.
That's amazing. I love your different Afro styles, your variation. You and your sister, you guys, with the puff, Afro puff. Okay, go ahead, Aaliyah. It's your turn.
She's gonna kill me when she sees me. I'm sorry, Aaliyah. Look at the look.
Is she frozen? Oh, you think?
Did she go?
It's your
I'm in
turn.
trouble.
Go ahead. Take over.
I am in trouble. Daniel, you want to go? I am in trouble. Oh, she's back. Okay. I'm sorry, Aaliyah.
It's not funny. Stop laughing. "It's not so bad, and you'll be fine. You're out of the woods, as they say." He chuckled and wrapped his magazine on the plastic bed rail and took a step back. He clearly didn't want to say anything more. "Lonnie," I asked. "What?" he asked. His face looked totally pained. Then he blinked a couple of times and looked ill. "Bianca." The door opened and Dr. Nate strode in. "Good morning, Bianca. How are you feeling?" "Like I've been hit by a car." I wanted to joke, but thought better of it. My father stepped aside so she could get closer. She took a stethoscope from around her neck and listened to my chest. "Breathing's good, finally." Wasn't I breathing? When wasn't my breathing good? I wondered. She looked over at my father and nodded. "She's a champ. This one." Then she turned to a tablet that she had placed on the table, tapping the screen a couple of times. Smurf me, blue and floating above the device, reappeared as Dr. Nate walked me through all the surgeries that had happened while I had been out. "All the tests are coming back better," she said. "Now it's just a matter of recovery, which means you'll be here at the hospital for a while." My dad looked at me with his sad eyes, and I felt my heart sink. How much was this going to cost us in bills? How much school was I going to miss? We've administered the strongest painkillers we can under the circumstances, the doctor continued, looking at my father. But the nurses say she's still waking up every few hours, trying to move. She's at the most we can safely give her right now, which is probably why she's still awake and comfortable enough. But we have to make sure she stays still. I didn't remember waking up. I didn't remember pain. But the look of horror my father gave me said that he'd probably seen this waking up live and in person. What I'm saying is that we're not going to be able to give her any more for a while. And she's awake, so it might be a difficult evening. My father nodded. The muscles around his jaw tightened, and his fist gripped the bed rail hard enough that I thought it might snap. I'll be with her all night, he said. Her mother will be here in the morning. We'll get through it. With that, Dr. Nate left, and my father adjusted the blankets that were covering me. Slowly, the sensations in my body started coming back, and I began to understand what Dr. Nate was talking about, and why my father had looked so worried. It was like being it was like being dipped slowly into molten lava. You maybe think, oh sure, I can have a toe seared off, or even my foot, no problem. But it just kept consuming more and more and more of my body. I felt weak with pain. Even looking at my father's face hurt because he couldn't do anything. And I was mad at him for not being able to do anything. And then mad at myself because I knew he was helping and this was torture for him too. But also, this was my own fault. In the middle of the night, when I woke up again, my father was asleep on the chair with the magazine draped over his chest. His shoes were off and he was snoring lightly. The door to my room was open, and a shard of light hit my face from what I could guess was the nurse's station. I still couldn't find a call button, but I figured that the time had passed for more medicine because everything felt dull again. The pain wasn't down to a smolder. I would have liked some water, but I didn't want to wake my dad. I had no idea how long he'd been up. His clothes were a mess. His usually neat hair was a tangled mat. He might have been here for hours, if not days, without a break. Someone had to come. Someone had to be home with Carrie. I remember he said something about him and Mom switching out, so maybe he was due for a break soon. But there was a huge part of me that was glad my father was asleep and there was no one I could call. Because I knew the moment that they thought I was well enough, the moment they figured I could handle a real conversation, there were going to be questions, a lot of them, and then they'd all know what I'd done and that everything was my own fault. A shadow crossed my door, and someone with a small voice whispered, "Hey," I managed back. And then the boy, about 11 years old, walked in, wearing pajamas that said Gamer for Life, and a robe with a glow-in-the-dark planets all over it. "Who?" I asked. It was all I could manage. My throat hurt to talk. "I'm AJ. I'm in the next room," he said. He came a little closer, but stopped when my dad snorted a really loud snore, and the kid seemed surprised anyone else was in there. AJ came up to the machine with the IV and tapped the screen. This seemed to be an established way of communicating with patients. I made a note of it for if I ever went into another patient's room, assuming I was ever able to walk again. "I'm Bianca Marshall, I know. I saw your chart when Dr. Nate came in." "Oh," I said. He grinned. "Lonnie," I said. "Elon Lawrence." It took a lot out of me to manage that much. AJ looked confused. He shook his head. His tight dark curls wobbled on his head. "No, you're Bianca," he said, stressing every syllable in my name. "My friend," I said. "We were in a car. He might be worse." AJ's eyebrows shot up. "Worse than you?" he asked. "You're pretty bad. Anybody worse off than you would probably be dead." I waited for him to laugh, or grin, or say that he was just joking. But this kid was straight up telling the truth as he saw it. And there was a stabbing pain across the top of my head that told me he was right. That worse off than me was not survivable. And that if anyone had something good to tell me about Lonnie, they would have already. "I could sneak into the nurse's station to see if I can find his chart, though," AJ offered. This had an immediate effect of the dulling and the pounding anxiety that was rising through my chest. Or maybe it was the medication. There was a series of beeps, and then the machines around me whirred a bit. Seconds later, I started feeling a little better. "Thanks, AJ," I said. When he turned to leave, I saw something in his hand. "What's that?" He turned back. "These?" He held up something that looked like a white plastic headband. "They're VR goggles," he said. He moved closer to show them off. "You can watch movies and stuff, but I've been playing Minecraft." "I like Minecraft." "Yeah?" AJ's eyes really lit up at that. "My friend and I have been building a world together," I said, a little surprised at how much I could talk. I glanced at the nearest machine. Yep, it was definitely painkiller time. The kid blinked and nodded, I guess waiting for me to add some details. "It has a lot of villages with different configurations and rules and stuff." That brightened the kid right up. "Oh, really? I just like to play survival modes. I use mods though, and I even made some of them myself." "That's cool," I said. "You should check these goggles out then." He said, "They'll blow your mind." Before I could respond, AJ had come up to the side of the bed and placed the goggle in my hand. The two ends pinched the side of my temple, though compared to the rest of what my body was feeling at the moment, it was nothing. I felt a tickling sensation on either side of my face, and it spread across my forehead. Suddenly, the pain across my head rose like a tidal wave, but I tried not to moan or wince because I didn't want to upset a kid who probably figured he was doing me a solid. I opened my eyes in surprise to see that the hospital room had completely disappeared. The game was already queued up, paused, in the middle of whatever AJ had been doing before. "It's a little weird at first," he warned me, "but you'll get used to it after a while." He wasn't kidding. Being thrust into a fully realized world that was mid-play was disorienting. It was brighter than my hospital room, that's for sure, and the unrealistic cartoon shades of green and brown and blue felt a little like a smack in the face. I started looking around the forest biome I had been shoved into and realized that if I looked somewhere for a while, I'd start moving in that direction. The movements were sudden and it made me want to hurl immediately. I closed my eyes and tried to breathe deeply, not wanting to say that I wanted out. I had a small child to impress after all. Plus, there was a feeling of just being a head with no body. I tried to move again and felt a lurch in my stomach. "Are you going to throw up?" AJ asked. "No, I, um, maybe you should stop," he said without warning. He pulled the goggles off, and to tell you the truth, I don't think that was any better. Returning to the real dull world made me feel extra sick. I turned to the side, away from the bed, away. Bleh. I turned to the other side of the bed, away from the kid, and threw up. As I tried to wipe my mouth on the edge of the blanket, AJ backed away to the door. My father stirred but didn't wake up. A nurse came running in and at the kid, back at him, looked at the kid, at me, back at him, then slowly walked over to clean me up. There was hurl in my braids, and I wasn't really thinking about my aim when I spewed. "Gross," AJ said. "Get back to your room," the nurse said. "I'll come check on you later. You know you're not supposed to be walking around, and you're definitely not supposed to be in other people's rooms." My dad woke up then, straightened and tried to make sense of what was going on. AJ made a face, but backed up all the way to the door. "Getting in and out is tricky. Not everyone can do it. There's a different way out that you can use and I can show you." He shrugged. "It's mostly for noobs." "Get out of what?" my father asked. "Just the game," AJ said, showing him the goggles. I took offense at the noob comment and I wanted to tell him that I could do it, but obviously I was not at my best in this moment. Lying in a hospital bed, mashed to a pulp, with a nurse wiping vomit off of me. I watched him back off into the hall and disappear. But I was going to show him that I was no noob. What kind of gamer would I be if I couldn't do it? And I'm gonna stop there.
Thank you, Aaliyah. Great job reading.
Great job, Aaliyah. I enjoyed that.
Right. Now we have Daniel. Are you ready to go, sir?
Amen.
Hello. Good
Hi.
morning. The book that I will be reading is a continuation of the book that I've been reading. Um, The Vanderbeekers of 141st Street. "Let's spray paint his door." He gave a dramatic pause, with disgusting bathroom words. Issa ignored her brother. "Lainey, I think you're right. We should try to do nice things for the Bearderman. You know, change his mind about us." Jessie and Oliver looked skeptical. Hyacinth looked scared. Lainey looked ready. Lainey looked ready to give out hugs, lots of hugs. After a long silence, Oliver shrugged. I'd be willing to do nice things for him if he lets us stay. I guess I could try to be nice to him, Jessie said. Issa gave her a grateful look. Although, if this doesn't work, Oliver and I totally get to spray paint his door. What do you think, Hyacinth? He scares me, Hyacinth said, chewing at her pinky finger. It's 5 against 1, Oliver, said Oliver. What could he do to us anyway? I know you could do this, Issa said to Hyacinth. You need to channel Hyacinth the Brave. Hyacinth nodded, but continued gnawing on her pinky. Issa mused. It wouldn't be great if we were able to convince the Beardermen to let us stay. It would be like giving Mama and Papa the most amazing Christmas present ever. The Vanderbeeker kids thought about giving their parents the best Christmas present ever. Of course, Hyacinth already made presents for them. She had completed them 2 months ago, but she liked the idea of a group gift. Oliver, who had spent quite a bit of time contemplating on what he was gonna get for Christmas, just remembered he was expected to give gifts as well. Mama and Papa deserve an amazing present from us, Oliver decided. Let's keep it a secret. Issa looked at him. You haven't gotten them anything yet, have you? Oliver quickly changed the topic. If it's a secret, we need to make sure you need to we need to make sure you know who does not spill the beans. He gave a not so discreet nod toward Lainey. Lainey, this is a secret, instructed Jessie. Right. Lainey agreed promptly. Right what? Jessie said. Right, let's be nice to the Beaker man, Lainey said. Yes, but we're gonna keep it a secret from Mama and Papa, right, Lainey? Just Jessie prompted. Right. The 5 kids started exchanging ideas for winning over the man on the 3rd floor. Operation Bearderman had officially begun. They tried to feel hopeful about their plan, but in the back of each of their minds they were all thinking the same thing. How do you make friends with a man you have never seen and who has not left his apartment in 6 years? The northern side of 141st Street was buffered by brownstones standing shoulder to shoulder, as if marching in formation. The buildings were all about the same height, with a ground floor called the garden level, and 3 more floors rising above. Some brownstones, like the one the Vanderbeekers lived in, also had a basement, which Jessie referred to as the dungeon. Although the brownstones on the narrow tree-lined street were the same size, each one had its own personality. One brownstone was rotund, like a jolly, well-fed grandfather, with a curved facade and decorative circle curlicues above around owlish windows. A few skips down stood a perfectly symmetrical brownstone with a more regal disposition, which stood in direct contrast to its frivolous neighbor, a brownstone with flashy turrets and multicolored shingles that sparkled on sunny days. On the southern side of the street were a mix of larger apartment buildings, and at either end of the block were churches that had recently celebrated their centenals. Next to one of the churches sat a narrow piece of abandoned land, which Miss Josie always talked about making into a community garden, and Oliver wanted to convert it into a basketball court. 2 blocks to the west was a thin sliver of a park built into the rocky hill. At the top of the hill was a series of castle-like structures that made up the College of New York's Harlem campus. The sidewalks of 141st Street were wide, but the street was narrow. Majestic street lamps were staggered on both sides of the sidewalk, spaced 50 paces apart. The posts stretched past the first floor of the brownstone, then curved over like a crashing wave. In the evening, the warm glow of the lights made passerbys feel that this streetlight may have looked the same 100 years earlier. The Vanderbeekers' home, a humble red brownstone with a weather vane that spun on windy days, sat in the exact middle of the street. The brownstone stood out not because of its architecture, but because of the constant hum of activity that burst out of it. Among the many people who had visited the Vanderbeeker household, there was quite a bit of debate around about what it was like. Not general agreement, but about what it was not. Calm, tidy, boring, predictable. At the moment, the things the Vanderbeeker house were at the moment the things the Vanderbeeker household were not seemed more pronounced than usual. The kids had not relocated their Biederman meeting to the kids had relocated their Biederman meeting to Issa and Jesse's bedroom upstairs, where the ancient radiator whistled cheerfully at their arrival. Issa pulled out the easel and stood ready to jot notes, marker in hand. Hyacinth was making Operation Biederman buttons for the kids to wear for their brainstorming sessions. Lainey had discovered a box of flower clips under Issa's bed and was attaching each one to her ponytail. As the kids settled in, Issa looked out at her siblings. As a Biracle family, the kids exhibited an eclectic mix of physical characteristics and love comparing which traits they got from their parent. Issa inherited her mother's stick-straight black hair, which Issa always wore in a sleek ponytail or an arrogant French braid, while her twin Jessie had Papa's wild, untamable hair, which she never bothered to do anything with. All had Papa's unruly hair, but Mama's dark eyes. Hyacinth got Mama's nimble fingers, but Papa's large feet. Lainey was an exact blend of both of her parents. Her hair was a shade of dark brown that you would get if you swirled her parents' hair colors together on an artist's palette. Her feet not small or large, and her eyes were darker than Papa's but lighter than Mama's. Issa cleared her throat and tapped her marker on the easel. After the room quieted down and she called their meeting to order, she made the first Operation Biederman suggestions. I'm going to stop there.
Thank you, Daniel. Nice. Amazing. You guys are all amazing. I believe that is all of our scholars. Thank you all. You guys can unmute if you want to chat a bit before we go. I just wanted to reiterate that you guys are amazing. I'm so happy to hear you guys read every Saturday. And just to also remind you guys that next Saturday we're going to start early so that we can have breakfast together. So, as I said before, it can be, whatever you want to eat for breakfast. No judgment. You eat whatever you want for breakfast, but it'll be great for us to get out and just chit chat and before we get into the reading. But yes. I hear lots going on. I hear babies. I see babies. Well, that's a different thing going on. Would anybody like to share anything for next week? Anybody going on vacation? Are you leaving, going away for your winter vacation?
I finally finished it.
I have sleep.
Nice. Do you have sleep?
Yes.
Nice. You get to sleep in. That's awesome. That is wonderful. Well, I want to say thank you again. You guys are
Thank you, everybody.
Evelyn and Amaya. You guys had your hands up.
I had finally finished my book.
Oh,
I've
nice.
added the next drawing and the next writing.
Nice. That's lovely. Oh,
And
lovely.
it is right here. So at school, math. We count to 100, then lunch. We eat pizza, then science. At home, I shower, then play with Amari in Roblox. Time for bed, Mom says. Okay. Me and Amari go to bed. The weekend, we play Roblox, and then the drawings are.
Oh, nice. I love it. Oh.
And we both have dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the pup on my 9th birthday, so when I get the puppy, me and her, she walks her dog, I walk my dog.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Evelyn. Oh,
I'm hiding
oh, it's
Starbucks in
Starbucks.
my book.
Nice. That's
I'm obsessed with
amazing.
Starbucks.
That's amazing. You guys are wonderful. You guys are so amazing, so smart, so talented. It's an honor to catch up with you guys every weekend.
And I'm so
I
good
also
one.
want to say too, for those who are reading chapter books, if you do read ahead, it's okay. If you do read ahead, then just fill us in on what you read, because I know you guys get on and you guys often have like continuation if you're reading a chapter book. But if you read ahead, it's no big deal. Just fill us in and then, continue reading. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Amaya, you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm just for my weekend. I'm just gonna chill or sleep and probably play some Roblox with my cousin Lyndon, and
Nice.
then sleep and then eat and
Nice.
then leave to
Gotta
have fun.
eat. Gotta eat, gotta sleep. Nice. That's amazing. So I hope to see you guys, all of you, again on Saturday. Have an amazing week. Okay? Have a lovely, lovely week, and we'll see you again Saturday. All right? Bye
Yep.
bye,
See you
everyone.
Saturday.
See you Saturday. Bye bye. Be early. We'll have breakfast.
Bye.
All right. See ya. Thank you for tuning in.